They then get a call to go to a house that a burglary. That's a big word. The house is getting broken into, essentially. They get called to go and check this out. Hey guys, welcome back to Coins Age Media, the review show. I am your host, Rodney Stewart. Laurel and Hardy. One more time. This is The Midnight Patrol from 1933. Short movie, 20 minutes. This one's in sound. This is so good. I've seen this a few times as a kid growing up. Basically, Stan and Ollie in this movie are novice policemen. At the beginning, they're they stop off to eat their lunch in their patrol car, and while they're eating, they get a call from the station to tell them that somebody's trying to steal their spare tyre off the back of the car. Random nonsense like that happens throughout this movie. Stanley gets out, chases the two robbers off, and they get another call for, well, he doesn't just chase them off. There's some slapstick moments happen during that there. It's like he chucks a brick at them after an argument and breaks the window of their car. They retaliate by chucking a brick back at the police car, because through the back window hits Oliver in the back of the head, and the bottle of milk that he has for his break explodes in his face. Random stupid little things like that. Brilliant. Laurel and Hardy. You wouldn't expect anything less. It's just randomness at its finest in this movie. They then get a call to go to a house that a burglary. That's a big word. The house is getting broken into, essentially. They get called to go and check this out. Burglary. However the heck you say that word, that's what's happening at this house. I can't speak. Please forgive me. Anyway, they forget the address that was called into them, so they have to call the police barracks to get the address again. But one of the police phones, there's like on a lamppost, there's like a little police box sort of thing. It's like a Doctor Who TARDIS sort of thing. You know, it's a police box, but this is like a smaller version of that, and it's only big enough for a phone. But earlier in this short, their lunch was in this box, and when they took that out, Stanley had set the police phone on top of the box, closed the door, and broke the cable to the phone, so it's broken now. They can't call the barracks. So Stanley goes to a nearby jeweller's to use the phone on there, and he mistakes the guy in the jeweller's as the owner of the place, but it's actually a guy that's in trying to rob the store. So of course Stanley's in there asking for permission to use this phone, and the guy's like, tear away, do your thing, sort of. And Stanley, none the wiser, doesn't realise this guy's trying to break into the safe in the background while he's on the phone. But when Oliver comes in, he works him out, and instead of arresting him, they give him notice to appear in court the following day. But then there's a whole rigmarole of, the guy's like, I can't do this, I'm busy tomorrow, I have to get my hair cut. Wednesday, he's checking his diary, and there's like listings of what he's doing the rest of the week, and it's like a list of places that he's going to rob during the week. I can't do Thursday, blah blah blah. So there's a whole piece of them trying to work out a court date for him. So eventually they throw him out of the store again. They have to ring the police station for a second time to get the address, because when Stanley was originally writing down the address in the first phone call, he had written it, there's a new word for you. He was writing it down on a piece of paper, but it was a piece of paper on top of another piece of paper, so that when he actually wrote it on the bottom piece of paper and lifted the top piece, which was a blank piece of paper. So when he takes that piece of paper out of his pocket and opens it up, there's no address there, he's like, I wrote the address here, but somebody stole the street. And so, of course, they ring, get the address again. And as they're heading out to the car, they hear the siren going, and it's the wee guy that was trying to rob the jewellers. He's like, pals, can you give me a push? So Oliver trails him out of the car just for that. You're appearing tomorrow, trying to steal our car on us, for goodness sake. So they get into the car to drive off, and the two guys that was trying to steal the spare tire at the beginning of the short film have obviously come back during this whole jewellery store part, and have actually taken all the tires off the car, so it drives off on its rims. They get to this house anyway, and they see this guy going around the windows trying to get in, and then he goes through the basement door and disappears down into the cellar, and Stan and Ollie go to follow him. But whenever they get to the doorway to go up into the house, it's locked. But we discover that this guy that the report was sent in about trying to break into the house is actually the owner of the house. He's been locked out, and we have a little scene between him and the butler. You know, where the heck were you guys at? I'm trying to get into my own house for over an hour. And the butler was like, sorry, me and the maid went for a little walk. And the owner of the house, and I say owner loosely because we know who it is at this point, tells him, next time you do that there, you'll be going out for a walk and not coming back. So basically there's a whole carry on in the front garden of the house then of Stan and Ollie trying to break through the front door of the house, and they decide to take a run at the door, bust their way through it. And Stanley says, okay, we'll take 10 paces, get a good run up towards the door. Sounds like a good idea, but when they're counting the paces, Oliver's ahead of him, and at pace 9 he falls into a pond in the middle of the garden. So when he gets out of that, he comes up with the idea, right, we've got a bench here, marble top, we'll use that as a ramrod to break through the front door. That doesn't go as planned either. They count to 3 to go towards the front door, but whenever they hit 3, Stanley goes backwards instead. Again, Oliver goes into the pond with the marble top of this bench on top of him, and he's pressed to the bottom of the pond, and there's more cartoon moments here where Oliver is asking for help from the bottom of the pond, and you hear like the bubbling words coming up like bubbles in the water. Like, "There's something to help me." So Stanley eventually gets him out, and Oliver sits him down, and he's like, you know what, could we just do this my way for once? And they decide to do the ramrod again, which works this time. And the best slapstick moment in this movie is them exploding through the front door of the house, right through the hallway. There's a set of steps going up to the top floor. They run into it, explode through it, and end up landing in the basement again. And at this point, the owner of the house is coming down with a shotgun in his hand to see what's going on. He falls through the hole, ends up in the basement with them. And Stan and Ollie attack him, knock him out, and the next we see, they turn up at the police headquarters with this guy, drag him in, set him down in a chair. It's like, here's your man, we should get a promotion for this. And at this point, the man they've dragged in starts to regain consciousness, and all the officers about the place is like, you know what, look, it's the chief. And they all jump up and salute, and Stan and Ollie realise, oh crap, this is our chief. We've knocked him out and brought him back to the barracks. So Oliver's like, I'm sorry sir, we've just, we started this morning, we're new here. So they try to slip out, and hopefully he'll forget about everything, but he takes a gun from one of the officers, fires a couple of shots, and Oliver and Stanley have left the room at this stage. You see the guy stand with a gun, bang bang, and then he comes back into the room, call the coroner. That's where the movie finishes. So Stan and Ollie essentially get killed at the end of this movie. It is absolutely hilarious, And yes, I can't recall any other movies where they actually end up getting killed at the end of it, but I do have a memory somewhere along the line of Stan and Ollie's heads on top of two skeletons at the end of a movie. Now, I don't know if that actually happened in any of these movies, but I do have a memory of that somewhere. Goodness knows where it came from. And we're getting very close to the end of the box set, and that hasn't popped up yet. So either that's something that's yet to come in these movies, or it is just a random dream I had somewhere along the line. But anyway, the Midnight Patrol is absolutely fantastic. And did I even say the name of the movie at the beginning of this review? I can't remember. I tend to just do these as it comes to me. Like, script very, very little when it comes to reviews, because I want it to be more natural. So definitely this is a very good one to check out. Probably, you know, if you're going to rank it within their better movies, it's probably not one of the better ones, but it is, you know, it's not by no means a waste of your time to check this one out. So the slapstick moments that stand out in this movie, you know, when they happen, priceless. So well done. That one part where they bust through that front door of the house, it explodes and they go clean through the staircase into the basement is absolutely fantastic. That is worth the watch of this movie on its own, just to see that one piece. So definitely check it out.